it's about that time, about to go back to school, back into the classroom. This is a back to school theater teachers video, if you haven't noticed from the title. So these are just some suggestions that I have for you if you're just starting out, or if you're still kind of new to it, or you're transitioning into this role. I doubt veteran teachers would watch this video or find any of this useful because you already know what works for you. But these are some things that work for me, and I hope that they're helpful to you. I have other theater teacher videos. I have a whole playlist about lesson plans. If you're a first-time theater teacher, or if you're transferring from teaching from teaching theater at one school and moving to a completely new school where they do things differently, I have videos for that. I have videos you can actually use in your classroom for your students. So check out my theater playlist. I will try to somehow creatively link it on the screen here, or if all else fails, it'll be in the description box for this video. Okay, so we're going to talk about lesson and unit planning for back to school. In this video, we're going to talk about technology just a little bit, and then we're going to talk about production schedules and making sure that you and your students are ready to go day one of school. So when it comes to lesson planning, if you have both performance classes and technical theater classes, I will touch on both of those for you. If you just teach performance-based classes, you can skip over the technical theater part. So for performance classes, what you what I would suggest that you start with is Ensemble Building. That's going to be your theater games. That's going to allow opportunity for your students to either get to know each other if they don't know each other, but also have them create an environment with you that is safe and welcoming, and an environment that invites people to make mistakes, an environment where they feel that they can grow as a performer. So start with some ensemble theater games. There's tons online. I have tons as well. If you want suggestions, you can find me on Instagram at KaylaStage. Direct message me if you're struggling with anything at any time. I am happy to help you. So I usually do theater games for like a week or two, usually just 1 week with my advanced acting classes. And I'll usually do 2 weeks for my intro to theater classes. You do the timing that works for you, though, and best for your environment. So that's what everyone starts with in the performance-based classes. So that's Unit 1. Unit 2, I go into characterization, right? Physical, vocal, how to create a character, okay? Expression. And I actually have a characterization video already on this channel. You're welcome to watch it. It's in my theater teachers playlist. So in that characterization unit, we discuss what I just talked about. I'm not going to go extremely in depth with it because I already have a video about that. You could do A, B scenes, right? Like character A says what to character B. Those are already available online everywhere. Have your students create their own character. And so you have these two cool, authentically created characters. They pair up as a partner, and they discover like what setting they want their A-B scene to have, and what is the conflict, and how what is resolved at the end, if anything. What's their objective? So those are kind of cool. From there, they can either write their own scenes, or you can, which is like 6 lines each. You know, each character needs to have an objective. What tactics do they use? And it's just a really short scene. Great for intro students. Really gets their brain into writing. And then you can go into having them write their own monologues. Now, please keep in mind, I took a graduate class on this summer too. Many of your students, depending on what kind of population you're working with, this may be their first experience ever in their entire life with theater. So you might need to do something called front loading. Front loading is loading in before you teach a concept, some background knowledge that your students may or may not have. Okay? You may have students in your class who have gone to New York in the summertime and watched Broadway shows with their family, and you may have students in your class who have never even gotten to see a play or any type of performance. So please keep that in mind. And those are the suggestions I have for intro to theater classes. Okay, advanced theater classes. These are going to be your advanced actors. They've had intro. They may have taken theater at that school. They might be in their 4th year. They might be in their senior year, or this might be their 2nd theater class. For me, my advanced theater 2, 3, and 4 students are all into one class, which is really cool because in the spring semester, I have my seniors student direct 10-minute plays for the underclassmen in the class. I love it. But anyway, have them start with an ensemble building unit. This could take a week if you want it to. You determine how long you want it to do. But then from there, I would go right into monologues. Now, they're not going to like that because mine never like that. But you're doing it for them. You're doing it for their own good. Why start with monologues so soon? Well, guess what's right around the corner for many of these students? Scholarship and college auditions, especially if they're going into performance schools, or auditioning for programs such as Governor's School for the Arts. I think that's nationwide. I definitely know we have that here in Kentucky where I teach. Fall theater festivals, fall theater competitions. You want them to work on that in class so that way you have time to give your professional feedback to them so they have this really awesome performance for whatever come what may, okay? And they are also getting peer feedback from each other, from their peers. And instead of them hustling and bustling after school hours outside of class trying to get this monologue up and running for whatever they need it for. Also make sure they film their monologues. If you have a film photography teacher or academy in your school, collaborate with them and have the film students film your actors so they can put this in their acting reel, in their portfolios, etc. If you don't, everyone has a phone pretty much these days, and as long as you have good lighting and a quiet space, you can film wonderful things on your phone. Like I'm filming this video right now on my phone. You don't need all the fancy stuff. So that is what I would suggest for performance classes. If you teach technical theater classes, which is my favorite, I love it, here's some tips for you on how to start. My tech class, I teach 2 of them, but it's Tech 1, 2, 3, and 4 students all into one class period, okay? So this is wonderful because I have my advanced tech students be the leaders within their group and help guide the intro tech students. But what I would do for those intro tech, these are students who have never had technical theater before in their life. You want to teach theater safety, have them take a safety test, have everyone, regardless of their years, of how many years they've been in theater, take a theater test, safety test. But, something I'm implementing this year that I don't know why it's taken me this long to implement is how to clean paintbrushes and how to clean up after painting, because my gosh, did we have a mess on our hands this past year. Our custodians were not happy. I was not happy. Actors who had to use the bathrooms with the paint sinks in it. It was an absolute mess. I've never had that happen before, but I'm not gonna let it happen again. So we're going to do brush cleaning lessons right from the get-go after theater safety. And I got a tip from the art teachers, and they said have each person have their own paintbrush. They're responsible for their own paintbrush. So I'm gonna buy a whole bunch of paintbrushes, write their names on them, and everybody has their own. Okay, so that's that. You need to teach your Tech 1 students, because a lot of them don't know, what is a prop? What classifies as a costume? What classifies as a set piece? What are lights? What are sound? I know these are very basic things, but a lot of times students don't know the difference between a set piece and a prop piece. So yeah, teach them that. From there, you want to, whatever show you're doing, whatever your first show is, you want your tech kids, your tech class, to be the ones who create all of the designs for that show, okay? So you need to start with the 5 steps of design lesson. Unit, actually this is a whole unit, and it's a whole project-based learning style. This unit is going to take you probably 6 to 8 weeks, okay? I have a whole video on the 5 steps of design. Watch it. If you're going to teach that unit, you need to watch that video. And you need to do it in that order or things become chaotic. So start your 5 steps of design unit next. And that will give you all of the resources that you need. Step 1, whatever play that you guys are doing or musical, the whole class needs to start reading that. I'm not going to go through the 5 steps of design because that is not what this video is about. I have another video about that, so watch it. Next, let's talk about technology. You will want to know, what is your technology situation as you walk into the first days of school? In my school, we have a 1-to-1 Chromebook. All students have their Chromebook. But you need to know, are your students going to really have the Chromebook on the first days of school? Or do they have to go through some processes in order to be qualified to get their Chromebook? So you'll have to determine, what are you doing? Since we're all used to technology now, that's how a lot of us teach now because of things since the pandemic. So if you don't have Chromebooks or technology available to you on the first days or weeks of school, what are you going to do? Okay, what are you going to do? Because I had in mind one thing of what I was going to do, but then we found out the students will not have technology until the end of the month-ish. So I've kind of got to re-gear, and a lot of teachers have to re-gear and reconstruct how they're doing things. So that's something that to think about. What is your technology going to be like when you enter into the new school year? Last thing I want to touch on in this video is your production season. Before the first day of school, I would strongly suggest that you already know what your production season is. What's your fall play? Are you doing a winter show? Whatever. What's your spring musical? Whatever works for you, okay? But you need to know what shows you're doing, and you need to know when they're happening. And the reason that you need to know this is because most likely, hopefully, you'll be performing in a performance space, in an auditorium, a gymatorium, a cafetorium. These are spaces that are highly sought after for different events and stuff. And you want to go ahead and book those dates and lock those in so you don't put all of this work in only to find out that some conference has been scheduled during that time. So you need to have that set in stone, and that needs to be communicated to your students and families because they have other things going on outside of theater and you want them to show up. So have those dates set in stone and know what your shows are that you're doing before the first day of school. Having this already planned out shows that your students and families can trust you, that you're an organized individual. They aren't coming in confused, like wondering when things are going to happen, what show are we doing. They come in day one, and you can share this news with them if you haven't already, and they have excitement and they're ready to start. They're ready to go. You're going to have that energy that you want from the beginning. If you don't really have this stuff planned out, they might see it as, I don't know, you might just lose steam. You might lose steam from them. Take your production schedule. I can do a whole video on scheduling if you want me to. Take your schedule of your show dates and work backwards to figure out all the way to when your auditions are going to be. Mine are the second week of school. Also, this goes without saying, but if you have other people in the arts that are using the space, like your music friends, like your band, teacher, orchestra, choir, whoever, make sure you sit down and have a meeting with them. And we do ours before the school year lets out. We do ours in May, and we all sit down and book our shows, our concerts, whatever. So that way there's no scheduling conflicts that you have to deal with once school year starts. If you don't have a website for your theater program, I would suggest you make one. I use a free one on WordPress, but that is a nice little hub for students and families to go for audition information, rehearsal schedules. They should know their rehearsal schedule before they ever audition. Because what you don't want is them auditioning and then you give them a schedule after the cast list is posted and them saying, oh yeah, sorry, this schedule doesn't work for me. I'm gonna have to back out. And then you got to recast. Ugh, too much. So they can find audition signups, technical theater applications. You want to have that ready for your backstage crew. Have a remind account, like a remind text account set up for your theater program so you can get students and families to sign up for that and text out like, hey, my website's updated with the script if you want to read a digital copy, or if you want to read the scenes that we're using for auditions, or if you want to sign up for audition or apply to have a tech job, this is all there. And that way it connects them and notifies them to go over to your website. And last but not least, whoever books the facilities, is over building and grounds, whoever in your building, make sure you hand over your schedule to them so that way they can make sure that your space is booked for your rehearsals, your shows, all of that. So you don't have to worry. You can just show up for rehearsal confidently, ready to go. So that's all I got. Theater teacher edition, back to school. Yeah, don't forget to check out my theater teacher playlist and let me know what you would like to see next. Remember to head over to my Instagram at Kayla's Stage if you ever want to reach out to me personally and ask questions or whatever. I'm here for you. Have a great year. Break a leg. Bye.